Hey, good evening. Welcome. All right, so how are things tonight? All right, so I haven't got my paint up yet. Give me just a brief moment. I'll get that set up for us. All right, I'm going to make sure that anyone that would like to join has a minute or two to do so. I'll get us all set up here. All right, so how is everyone tonight? It's a little bit quiet. It's a Monday morning. Well, geez, feels like a Monday morning, doesn't it? It's Monday evening. I think everybody is always dragging just a little on Mondays, so no exception here. Okay, so we're going to continue this piece that I was doing last week. Now, the real purpose behind these Monday night streams is sort of a Q&A. You as a beginner, if you're popping in to join me, either for the first time or not, if you have any questions along the way, please drop them in chat. I'll be happy to answer them. Really, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's about this particular project, what I'm doing or not. I don't have any problems answering kind of whatever you've got. Okay, but because I know that I'm not necessarily always going to be able to fill up an entire hour of stuff, of questions and answers and random things, I do decide to go ahead and just start a project and work through it as we go. That way I can also kind of take some time to showcase different skills, techniques, and whatever in the meantime. Okay, so per the usual, now right now I've only got two colors working. I've got the white and the blue. These are Apple Barrel, Standard White, and Summer Sky. They're both multi-surface, water-based acrylic. These are in the satin paints. I have one, well, it's more than a drop, a few small drops of my glass medium. This is my absolute favorite and go-to. All right, the glass medium, just to make sure that that paint adheres really nicely once it gets on here. And then I'm going to just take, let's get my paint up here. All right, just take a nice amount of each of the blue and the white. Get that in there first. And I'll get that mixed. Nothing super crazy. Ooh, maybe there is something super crazy. All right. I have like a little cloth that I lay all my tools on. And I went to pick up my tool and it snagged and shot across there. Okay. So that's how we're going to start out the evening. Got it. All right. Let me get this mixed up. Oh my. Yeah, isn't that the epitome of Mondays right there? Okay. Get that stirred real nice. I try, usually, not to agitate the paint too much when I stir it, just to make sure that I'm not going to get a ton of bubbles in it. I've always found that certain colors seem to always have bubbles and others really don't. So pigment must play some small part, I presume. Okay, all right, get that mixed in there. Just try to do it extra well, just because that medium doesn't change the paint's consistency or color at all. So you just kind of have to make sure it's mixed really well. Okay. Per the usual, I am using my standard set of 5 dot art tools and a couple of small acrylic rods. I've got just a couple of sizes, actually. I mean, what I work with is, this is the total. This is it. So, nothing fancy. The only thing I really do is, because I have these 2 acrylic rods that are clear, they tend to get lost on the little cloth that I use to lay my stuff on. They blend right into the background, and I lose them often enough. So I set those on the side. And for the rest, I've got everything on a cloth, so it's not banging around. Okay, goodness gracious. Now that we're all set up, can we please get to painting, right? All right. Now then. So, I know it's not too clear on camera. Okay. Even though I put a little paper towel inside of my vase here, and I'll kind of unfold this a little bit as well. I just use it just to help me see my own guidelines a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Now, it may not look 100% symmetrical, and you'd be right, because as of right now, this part is not. Whether you can or can't see it, there is another trace of a mandala that I'm putting right over here. And this is the edge of it, right here. Okay. So it goes up right along the side. So that's why this is cut off. Okay, I actually need to probably put another little dot here to make sure that that looks like a fully formed piece of it. And then I've got this other mandala that's gonna kind of interrupt this pattern here. So, but tonight, you know what I want to do actually first? Let me take a cloth here, just real quick. Okay. All right, just want to make sure. It's been sitting there a week, right? I mean, this is my weekly project. I'm not dabbling on it midweek, so every now and again, I might get a dot of dust that builds on there. So, okay. Now what I want to do is, now that I've got these going, I have all this space in between, and I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted to do with that space, but I think that I'm going to kind of tie in some of these here and sort of bring, let me get my small tool so I can show you which ones I'm talking about. So the edges of these swooshes right here. So this one and this one. Essentially what I think I want to do is I want to put a nice big dot here and bring some lines around, and more or less bring these 2 in. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I'm going to bring up my big pink 10, size 10 here. And now, do I want to just sit that there just like this? Or do I want to put something right there? I may want to put just a small maybe a small resting dot there. Do I want to do that? Maybe, maybe just a small one. Let's do like a 1.5. So it doesn't matter which tool I pick up. The bottom side of all of these are 1.5. All right, so let's go into the blue. And let's make sure that this is pretty well centered on top of my swoosh there. Okay, and then this one's not gonna have one. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe that off. And then let's go into my white. Okay, now let's see if we can manage to get a beautiful placement here. Okay, real slow, pull that off. Now this is a large dot. I'm not going to say the paint is thin because it's pretty good consistency, but this is pretty good curve on here. So I'm going to tip it just a little, pull this over just slightly so that I don't run into any dripping. Okay, let's see if I can get it kind of right about there. Okay. I'm going to get that a chance to rest, actually. Underneath this, as you can see here, I've got a little bag. That bag is full of beans. Magic beans. No. Just get some old pinto beans that I put in a Ziploc bag and then covered with a washcloth. Nothing fancy schmancy. Just a nice way to hold this still. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, because I want that to dry, normally I would go ahead and put that same white dot around on the other side, but I don't want to do that because, again, I want it to dry. I want it to hang out here. So I'm going to leave that. And let's experiment here a little bit. Okay, this is going to be blue for this one. So let's get our top on. Wipe that off. Going to go down a size to the 3. Let's get a few locked dots in here. Okay. I'm doing that nice and slow. Just wanting to make sure that everything dries nice. Okay, get that dipped really well. Let's go to the other side here. I'm gonna kind of do this one upside down. There. One down. And being a little bit slow, I know it's not as interesting, but it's reality, right? You want to make sure that, especially on the curved surfaces, that you're not going to act too quickly. You're not going to be swinging it around, tilting it, and then the paint's going to slosh, right? Especially the stuff that I'm using. I mean, it's great right out of the bottle, but I mean, realistically, if I wanted to do that, if I wanted to get a little bit quicker and start to move this around, I may want to add just a drop of a different type of medium, a thickener, to it. So, but I really don't want to do that. So, all right, and I think I should be able to put that right in. Okay, just kind of checking myself here, making sure I know what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna step up one additional size from the one I want to end with. Let's get the top on there. Keep all my tools nice and wiped off. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna go at it again this direction. See if I can get in here real nice. Now I'm going to stop at 4. I'm going to clean my tool off. I'm going to do the 4 on the other side, and then I'm going to do the last ones with a different tool. Because my rod is not holding quite enough paint to sustain the perfect dot there, that's why I'm doing that. Because if I were to go to the next one, almost assuredly, the next dot would be wavy looking, kind of that weird peaked appearance, because it would not have had enough paint. And that's the difference between the ball tools and the flat acrylic rods. It really makes a difference. And let me see if I can get a good angle on this here, so I can see it as well as you. Okay. See, my 4th is already running into a problem, so let's see. Yeah, I didn't quite get the 4th in. So what I'm going to do, no baby, that's what other tools are for. Got a touch of water in my palette there. I'm going to take this one back out. Okay, let's go into my large green here. Oops, let me get that extra loaded actually. Okay. Now we go to the last ones. And I'm just going to briefly touch here. Okay. Now I've got that. What I think I'll do is kind of round that out a little. Pardon me. Goodness. Let's go back to the, let's see, should we do 1.5? Yeah, that's probably good. Okay. Take blue. And I'm just going to nestle a small dot right in between. Essentially walking that down too. Okay. Wipe my tool off. Let's go back again over here. Gonna flip everybody upside down a second. Now there is a tiny little space there. So what I can do, can't go in. And then let's do a tiny touch. So I have the dot right there. Perfect. Okay. All right, there we go. So that side's done. Now I'm not going to say that that white dot in the center is dry. We know it's not. So but I am going to try to give it a little bit. And we're going to try this one now. Move this just so slightly. Get that nice and loaded here. And get this pretty well centered. Same thing, we'll kind of be nice and slow. I'm going to take my clear rods. Again, I laid them on my cloth and they're disappearing. One of these days. Okay. All right. And I do believe. Okay. Let's get a nice dot right on top here. Let's go grab my 3. Get it really loaded. And we'll head around. Wipe that off. Okay, we'll go back in again. All right, same thing. I'm going to take the larger of my 2 clear rods. Let's get the cap on this guy. Oops. And we'll move to the smaller. Get that nice and loaded up. Dip it in there a couple times. There we are. Get that loaded up. Move myself around just a smidge. Okay. I'm going to go back into my 3 here, like we did before. Load that up real well. Let's briefly dunk that here. Okay. This one seems like there's a bubble. There we go, I think. Pull that just slightly. There we go. Okay. And let's flip this tool over. I'll go to my blue. I'm gonna just cover the tip, and then we're gonna go nestling these in. I'll leave the last 2 dots for a smaller tool. Let's come over here. Let's do this one. Grab my small tool real quick. Take these little tiny ones. Itty bitty. There. Okay. All right. So there's 2 down. So we're more symmetrical than we started. Half of it is good. All right, so now this is the part that's going to be a little difficult. Okay, I'm not going to lie. This is going to need to turn it. I'm going to push my hands just a little bit. All right. Now, again, the fun part here is at some point I'm going to have to come by and look at the dot sizing right around the little swoosh and fill this in. These little tiny space right about here. In the meantime, I'm going to try to get this one done. Now, again, it's right on the bottom. I can probably, maybe. Let's see. This is such a heavy bottomed vase that if I want to kind of set it more straight here, I might have to do some quick adjusting. Pardon me. There. Kind of have to lean it a little farther to one side than the other. Okay. All right. Let's make sure nothing rolls off, shall we? Oh, that would be an atrocious nightmare. Okay. So let's see if I can't. Just a little more. There. Okay. Beautiful. Everybody hold your breath. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it over here on this side. And I don't think it's going anywhere, but again, you know, it's Monday. It's Monday. Goodness only knows what can happen on a Monday. All right, so let's get this one. See how far I can push my luck. Looks like there's a little bubble right here, so we can get that out. There. If you can catch them down and spread them out, then they won't appear later. Trying to make sure it doesn't head off the other direction. No, it's like I want a bubble here. That's about as good as we're going to get that. I'm going to test it a little bit. There. Okay. Again, let's go into the small rod. And we're going to get a light blade dot in right on the top. Okay. And let's go into my green, or yeah, my green tool, my blue paint. Okay, really get that loaded up. Tool wiped off. Okay. Sorry, I feel like I'm holding my breath myself here. Like I said, this heavy bottomed vase just kind of wants to slip a little. So. Try. You think it's gonna work? My goodness sakes. Great. Let's get a large dot up here. Oh, hello, curve. Get that off of there. Let's go back to my small one. And let's see if again we can get 4 out of here before switching back. Nope. That one's right on the edge, but I'm letting you. I don't want to go. I'm going to take this one off. Look this up. I'm going to turn it around. If at any point you can't see something, just give me a yell. Try to keep an eye on the ability for everybody to see what's going on, including me. So, all right, let's try. Almost. Almost. Did you see it? Whew. Heart stopped for a sec. All right. Okay. Now I'm hoping everything is dry enough where, let's see, I'm gonna push the beads back up. Gently cradle you the way you were, you lovely thing. If the heavy bottom is sitting right on here, it seems to work just fine. Okay. So let's go over here. Oops, not blue, white. Let's not get distracted. All craziness here. Got it. Now, flip the tool over, 1.5, into our relaxants here. Now then, let's take a peek. This very well could be, nope, a little larger. This would be my 2.1, I think. Just about right. All right, what I'm doing, again, I'm trying to fill in this space, right? We're pretending that this big element here actually is here, right? So I'm going to create the illusion that it's actually there. And how I want to do that, so there's going to be a little dot here, which is going to be right on the line, which I won't be able to see. And then right next to it, there should be a blue dot. So you would not theoretically see it there, but you would here. Okay. And now, if I flip it over, there would be a white one here, right? Yeah, okay. And one ever so slightly larger here. There, like that. Okay. Now there would theoretically also be one right here. And that is all that you would see of that, I do believe, because there would be nothing. This would come out here and around. Yeah, that would be, would not. I think you would see any part of that the way that this is sitting. Okay, all right, so there's that. Now, the next thing that I want to do is this over here. I'm pausing a moment because, again, I can see just by the shine of this one here, this one is not dried quite enough. Okay. The other thing that I could do that I've been pondering a little, because I've got these little tiny spaces right here, and I don't know if I want to make it a little rounder rather than kind of four-pointed. And maybe put a dot here. I don't know, I think I'm gonna wait on that and see what this one does. Now with this one, let's see. And hopefully as I'm turning this, the other thing that I'm worried, well, not super worried because there's not much on the other side, but I do have the expo marker on both sides of it. I mean, it's all the way around. And every time I am moving this, I'm thinking that there's got to be some of that expo marker getting removed. So let's, now this one is a bit smaller than the other. And it probably, wait, let's go opposite color. So I'm gonna start with the nice blue. All right, let's see if I can get my hands in just a position as to get this dot in there nice and not wet my hands with paint. So. Again, this one's thinner. I'm holding it up as you can see. Okay. Yeah. Tilt it just slightly. All right. I'm gonna go check on my other dots here. Make sure we're good. Okay. I don't want the paint to run and I don't want my vase to run away. I'm not about to have this thing roll off. I did that once. One of the very first things that I had actually decided to record. It was pretty funny. I had these little, I still have them on my desk, matter of fact. I had these little fairy jars that I had painted, and I didn't have any of this set up yet. I was just doing it right on my table, and the whole thing just rolled right off. Just fell off the desk. I grabbed it before it hit the floor, but that didn't make me feel any better. All right, so let's see, what do I want to, yeah. Right, just gotta keep a check on stuff. It's a smidge off the center that I wanted it, but it's not going to matter because I'm not trying to do something specifically on grid. So just keep my fingers out of stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Let's try this. Let's get upside down here. Now then, got that. Everything else on this side looks all right. Nothing's dripping over there. Now, what I could do I want to just go standard and go large, or I could actually do some mini dots in between. And then a larger, you know what, I like that. Okay, sorry. Make the decision on myself. They're going to be tiny. Apologize if they're hard to see. This is like my 0.05 here. My tiniest tool, the one that I use for my swooshes. What did I put that there for? What the heck, Ola? Go away. My tool. I get my finger somewhere. Oh my gosh. I do not have a word anywhere to place my finger. And it really wants to go somewhere. Stabilize my hand. All right, so those are kind of like little placeholders. Okay, kind of looks like a little sunflower now, doesn't it? That's kind of cool. So let's now go up to probably 2.5. Oh, you know what? I can go bigger than that. I can probably get away with a 3 in here now. Yeah, I can. Yes, 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 I can. Okay. See if I can get into this spot again. That is really hard. And you can see my hand shake every time I get over here because I don't have anywhere to place my finger to rest it on. So just sort of balancing out here and nowhere. Was there actually one here? Huh. There. There we go. Now, I'm only going to do one other part of this tonight, and then I'm going to wait again for next week. But what I'm going to do, so since that's a 3, I'm going to go up to my small rod here. Let me get that wiped off. Actually, let me get that too clean. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to do, again, this does not have to be straight north and south, I suppose. Kind of be nice if it was, but let's see here. How do I want to do that? Let's go here. We'll go over to this side. Oops, don't move. Don't move on me. Okay. Ever so slow with the surface. Ooh, goodness sakes. Okay. And here. Of course, I get a little over here right at the end. Tuck you back in. There we go. And what I'm going to do, you know what, let's take this one. Move that away. And I'm going to scooch it over. I'm going to scooch. Just didn't feel like that was in the right spot. So, there. All right. Okay. Well, anyone that has stopped by this evening or well later, thank you so much for joining me. I certainly do appreciate it. If you do run into any questions in the future, go ahead and drop them in comments and I will absolutely get back to you. If not, I look forward to seeing you again next week. And again, the purpose of these Monday night streams is not necessarily just for me to show off what I'm doing. It really is designed as Q&A. So if you do have a question, feel free to stop by. I'd be happy to talk with it. I would be happy to talk to you about it. Goodness gracious. If I could talk, that would be fantastic. All right, have a great evening. We will see you again soon. You take care. Good night.